And we're up. Welcome to the Land Investor live stream, our third ever. And today it's just me, no exciting guests. And I figured we'd get on here and answer some of the questions that we've had this week and some of the questions we get pretty often. And we're going to show a really amazing property that we just got this week. So let's get into it. And I've kind of always wanted to keep this live stream as a very casual, kind of sit down, just feel free to ask any crazy questions that you may have. And just to be consistent, change a couple of settings. Here we go. That's much better. So this live stream is really fun because it's almost like producing a TV show and acting in the TV show at the same time. So I'm having to run all of the software in the background to make this nice thing that says Land Investor Live Stream, and it has the questions like this one. How did you start Expand Your Land? And maybe it's a question of why did you start Expand Your Land? I was at a point in my life, I'd been working in my career, I'd been in outside sales for 10 years. And I used to sell parts, and I sold all kinds of different industrial, aerospace parts and military parts and all this different stuff. And we built some incredible things. And I was really, really proud of the work I did. But honestly, it was kind of time to move on. And so I really found myself searching for something new. And I tried a lot of different things. I did Airbnbs, and I still do. And I did long-term rentals, and I flipped houses. And those weren't really like giving me the gratification that I was really looking for. And honestly, they were a huge headache. And what I really, really, truly want to do in life is to hang out with my family, and to work with the people that I want to work with when I want to and from anywhere in the world. So, that was kind of the criteria for us. And, at the time that I really found myself looking, this Bible verse kept coming up over and over. It came up in the word of the day that my wife and I do every day, most days. And it is from First Chronicles 4:10. And the verse is, "Oh, that you would bless me and enlarge my territory." This dude named Jabez said this prayer, and this thing keeps coming up, showing up in my life. It showed up in the word of the day. I keep running across it on, like, when I'm scrolling Facebook, enlarge my territory. And I keep hearing that over and over. And the short story, how that ends is that God does bless Jabez there with an enlarged territory, with more influence is what he was really after. But I keep seeing that, and then I came across this book called Dirt Rich. It's by this dude named Mark Podolsky. He's done over 6,000 land deals, and he teaches people how to build their own land business. And so that's what we did. And so the name Expand Your Land is kind of a play off of that expand your territory. Expand your territory didn't really work for a name for the company. So we went with Expand Your Land. And we went through the training program and we learned how to buy and sell land. And we've been doing it for about 2.5 years now, full time. And I absolutely love this business. That's one thing. Some people get on the phone with me and they're like, "Oh, I don't want to keep you too long. Oh, I don't want to ask you too many questions." And I can talk about land all day, every day. I love it. It drives my son crazy because I talk about land too much, probably. So that's the story of how we started Expand Your Land. Let's see what other questions do we have here? Okay, here's one. It is, how does owner financing work? Okay, most of our properties get we buy them or we go into it with an investor and we offer it to you, the customer, on you can either pay for it in cash and you get the deed right away, or you can take us up on the owner financing option. And owner financing is really cool because it's so easy. If you've ever bought a house or a car and you know you have to spend days and days and days and filling out paperwork and getting pre-approved, then reapproved, and then on and on and on. And then they ask you for all these crazy stuff, bank statements and all this personal information. Well, owner financing, and especially how we do it on land contract, is super simple. I literally only need your full name, email address, mailing address, phone number, and a down payment. And that's kind of it. I mean, we send out a contract to you, and so we have everything is in writing, and it's all spelled out very, very clearly on what the expectations are. But at the end of the day, if you have the money for the down payment, you're approved. The end. We don't do any kind of credit check, no background check. I don't care about any of that. As long as you can show up and you can bring a down payment, we're ready to go. So once you get the paperwork, you'll sign that through Sign Now it's kind of like DocuSign. It's pretty much the same thing. And you click through it, sign here, and you put in some more information there, and then we'll get you all set up. The next step is that we set you up with your payment account. So we use this online portal called GeekPay, and it makes it super duper easy because you can go on there and you can see how much you've paid, how much you have left. If you can find out, what would be the last payoff date. If you want to change your payment method, you can do it right there on GeekPay, and you don't have to call me and ask me. You're always welcome to do that. But it's so easy to do. You just log in there. It's just like paying your water bill or anything else that you pay online. So super easy, and we put all your documents in there too, so you can always like refer back to those, even if you know you change emails or whatever. They're always saved. We keep a very close accounting on all this stuff to make sure that like the last day you make your payment, we get the deed ready to be transferred over to you. So that's how owner financing is. That's a long story. That's a short story. Um, and then let's see. We got a couple of questions this week about one of our properties and the road access to it. I'll show that in just a second. Here it is. Okay. So this brings us to our featured property of the week. This property is one that we call Rustic Road because it's on Rustic Road. It doesn't have an address assigned yet, which is pretty common. We have the APN, the assessor's parcel number. This is actually two parcels that are being sold together as one. So the nice thing about that is maybe if you wanted to have one parcel, you could put a mobile home on there or a house or an RV or whatever. That's what's really nice about this neighborhood. And you could put one on your property and then you could give one to your mom, give one to your son, however you wanted to do it. It's super nice. I really love these that are multiple parcel numbers in one. It's a super easy process. There's no extra paperwork or anything to having those double lots like that. So the nice thing about this one, this is in the Holiday Pines subdivision in Mineola, Texas. It's in deep East Texas, just south of Tyler, Texas. And the beautiful thing about this is that it's completely unrestricted. You can do whatever you want out here. If you want to have an RV, you can have an RV. If you want to build a traditional build, I should say, you can do that. There's water and electricity at the street ready to be hooked up. You have one neighbor to the west, and on that side, there's actually a fence that maybe I think I have a picture of here. Here we go. Here's a couple of pictures that we took while we were out there. You've got the electrical box there, heavily wooded, so you definitely need to do a little bit of clearing out here. It shouldn't take too much work. There's these giant 85-foot pines, beautiful, beautiful trees. Um, you've got one neighbor across the street that has a little farm going, and they've got chickens and pigs. And I made a little YouTube video about the because when I was out there, the chickens they come over sometime and peck around, which I think is just great. And um, so, I mean, but what that really tells us is that there's no problems with you having livestock out there. There's no problems if you want to have chickens, have chickens. You want to have pigs, have pigs. It's probably the lots are probably a little bit small for larger animals, horses and cows, but um, I'm not really a rancher, so that's up to you. It's also about, and you can see kind of from this drone footage, and I can probably try to add some more. Definitely check out the YouTube video that I made because it's actually like a block from this little lake, and you can barely see it in the drone footage here. Um, but you could walk right over that and you could go fishing, do some light kayaking. It's a pretty small lake, but still super nice. The thing to know about the Holiday Pines community is that This is an unrestricted subdivision. So people, they do whatever they want out there, right? So if you want to have 15 cars, well, you can do that, and some people do. So that's just something to know. The roads, they're passable, but they're not the best. I give them about a C minus, and you can definitely get there in two-wheel drive. There's no problem with being able to haul a camper out there. You can still easily get there. So even I was out there when it was raining pretty heavily, and all the roads are still easily passable, but just in rough shape. So that's what to know about this property. The last time we've had a property like this, it's sold within a matter of days. So I'm very certain this one will too. This is one that we're really, really excited about. We've got this one on warranty deed. Um, and yeah, it's just a beautiful little property. I know somebody will be really, really happy to have this. I'll be happy to sign over the deed someday. Um, as far as how much we are asking for it, we are asking for the down payment is 250 principal plus 250 document fee. So that's 500 bucks down, and then it's 250 bucks a month for 71 months. And that comes to a total of 18,000. I'm willing to consider a reasonable cash offer on this one. Um, Let me know if that's something you want to do. Um, yeah, and you know what's nice too? You can even go camping out here. You can just straight go tent camping. There is a there's a shed at the back of the property, and I'm about 99% sure that it's on the property. It opens out towards the towards the street, so that leads me to believe somebody had it there. It's actually the shed is has been toppled by a tree, but it's on a super nice concrete pad, so you could like easily replace that and have yourself, a nice start to um, to get to work out there. And yeah, I kind of blanked on what I was going to say there, but I love this one. Um, the street that it's on is really, the houses there are pretty well kept. Um, People kind of keep to themselves in this subdivision. That's one thing, is that kind of what I said earlier, is that a lot of people like to exercise their right to have a little miniature junkyard. But the thing is, those people, they don't care what you're doing. That's for sure. Everybody really respects each other's privacy out here. So I've been out here quite a few times, and I've always had pretty good experiences. So if this is one that you like, definitely give me a call, a text, a smoke signal, an email. I would love to do business with you. And that's kind of about what I have for the live stream today. Um, oh, here we go. We had a question about, is there any water on the property, or water collection points. Uh, so there's actually city water at the street, so you can just get a water meter installed, and you can have water, which is super nice. Most of the unrestricted lots do not have any kind of water or electricity. So that's what makes this one really, really nice. So you can have some modern amenities. You don't have to go off grid. You certainly can if that's something you want to do. This is a really good spot to do that. Um, so there are some subdivisions out there that actually require you to connect to the grid, and this is not one of those. We've got a couple more properties in this area coming up very, very soon. Um, we've got one that I don't want to say too much before the deal is done, but it is going to be absolutely incredible. It's going to be at a higher price point, but it's really special. So, with that being said, please, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit us up with any questions you have. I'm going to put a link in the description to this property if that's something you're interested in. You can always find more information at expandyourland.com. So until then, we'll see ya.